Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Kilcollins, and I'm a consultant on the Presque Isle Bypass project for the Maine Department of Environmental Protection. This particular project is in 3 phases, the first of which is nearly complete. The aim of this project is to build a 2-lane bypass route around the city of Presque Isle. This in turn will minimize large vehicle, logging truck, and tractor-trailer traffic through downtown Presque Isle. This in turn will hopefully improve safety in areas that have seen high collision rates. The picture to your left shows a section of the Phase 1 road which is very near completion. Phase 2 is still in mitigation but should begin within the next few months. There are some environmental impacts that have occurred during this specific project. 5,446 square feet of wetlands were lost. The Phase 1 was located near the Aroostook River, and because of this, there is the potential for excess chloride in the river due to de-icing materials that we use on the roads between December and April. There could also be some chemical or debris runoff from the construction site itself. There are several health impacts that are related to this specific project. One, of course, is the displacement of animals from their homes as we are destroying the wetlands. In the picture to the left, you can see a deer footprint. This one was taken right off the recreational trail right next to the Phase 1 construction. As we're pushing animals out of their homes, we find that there are higher rates of animal-related collisions. The area where the project is in a more rural area off of the centralized area of Presque Isle and has a very high deer and moose population. As you can see on the left is the recreational trail for the ATVs and snowmobiles. Down over the ridge on your left-hand side of the picture is where the bypass is. On the left, you can see more deer prints that were taken off of the side of the recreational trail. Some of the indirect health-related impacts to this bypass would be the concern of a loss of revenue in an already dwindling economy since Loring Air Force Base closed in the early to mid-90s. With the closure of the Air Force Base, a lot of businesses closed, but we lost a lot of people from the area. Because of this, store owners are concerned, and even smaller businesses within Presque Isle are concerned that they're going to lose revenue that they need to help support their families. And because of this, ever since the bypass was proposed, it has been opposed by a lot of people because of this concern that we might lose money within this area. Several recommendations that I have to help mediate some of the problems that I have previously addressed would be to monitor water sources that are in direct proximity of the construction areas for contamination. Use silt fences or berms of mulch, which will help with erosion and sedimentation. Use fencing, mark roadways with animal crossing signs, or even build an underpass or overpass for animal crossings to help prevent animal-related collisions. We could also build stores and restaurants near the bypass, which could potentially help bring revenue back into this area. As for monitoring, mediation for wetland destruction is a 10-to-1 compensation. So what this means is that for every 1 acre that is lost, 10 acres need to be set aside. Essentially, there can be no net loss of any of the wetlands. If the company chooses to not do this, they can pay a fine, which will then go into a fund that will help create or enhance any additional wetlands. The photo to your left is a picture near the Phase 2 area of the project that could essentially be lost as the project starts. Additional monitoring for water quality can be done 6 to 12 months, and if everything is acceptable, including the levels of sodium chloride, we could go to annually for these checks. Continued random checks of the site, as well as making sure anything and everything is within compliance of regulations of the permits that have been given out, will help to minimize any negative impacts. Towards the back of this picture, you can see where Phase 1 ends and Phase 2 will begin. This area has considerably more vernal pools and freshwater wetlands than Phase 1 did. This will prove to be more of a challenge, but mediation and continued compliance from all the current players should minimize any detrimental effects to our environment and the health of PI citizens, should these recommendations be followed. I'd like to thank you for your time and careful consideration of these recommendations.